Out here, Lima, Peru. Neighborhood is called Flores. I'm riding in a park right next to the water, the ocean, to be exact. It's beautiful out here. Very peaceful, calm, great weather. Today is the last day of the World Bicycle Forum, and today is what they call the assembly, where they vote on where the conference will take place in 2020. And in case anybody's wondering, no, I am not offering Chicago, at least not yet. Hey, let's have a quick conversation. Y'all know there's a lot of people talking reckless about equity. They don't understand it. They believe it means equality. They don't talk about equity in the context of structural racism. They don't talk about equity in the context of a more fair distribution. Whoa, I had to shift to the bike lane. Looks like tourists. Nothing wrong with tourists. I'm a tourist. They don't talk about equity in the context of the distribution of resources. They don't talk about equity within the context of addressing both contemporary and historical injustices. They don't talk about equity in the context of targeting the people who need resources the most. All right, here's my definition of equity. Equity is the fair, just distribution of resources, explicitly targeting and prioritizing the people who need resources the most, and using those resources to address both contemporary and historical injustices. Now, that's my definition of equity distilled down into its simplest form. However, should you want to see a more broad definition of equity and a more detailed perspective on how equity is implemented at an operational level, take a look at Slow Road Chicago's bicycle equity. This is a small bike lane, and I know I'm going the right way. I don't know about these other folks, but it's a small bike lane, so it's hard for people I go one way and somebody else is coming one way because it's not very wide. Anyway, take a look at Slow Road Chicago's bicycle equity statement of principle. It's on Slow Road Chicago's website. And it's a 2-page document that really digs in to the details around how we think about bicycle equity. Now, understand, while that document talks about equity within the context of bikes and the activity of cycling, all of the broader themes on that document cuts across policies, sectors, and geographies. You could swap out the word bicycle with the word housing. You could swap out the word cycling with the word education. And it all applies. It applies across the board because equity is a general concept that should be applied broadly. And then you take that broad definition and you apply specifically to certain policy areas or specific sectors or even geographies based on the real needs of those policy areas, sectors, and geographies. So we have to put a stop to this conversation around equity, which is completely off base. Equity is not equality. Forgive me, I'm on my bike trying to navigate this park. Equity is not equality. Equality is a policy around everybody receiving the same. When people start off in a disadvantaged, marginalized, disenfranchised position, giving everyone the same is not going to be an effective way to move people from that position to a more prosperous position. A policy of equality means everybody stays in their relative position. You give everybody the same thing, everybody stays in their relative position. The people in the front stay in the front. The people in the back stay in the back. They may all move forward a little bit. However, their positions relative to each other stays the same. We're advocating for a policy, perhaps even legislation, that creates a system, a structure built around equity, where resources are distributed in a way that prioritizes and targets those who need resources the most. That's true for bikes, that's true for transportation, that's true for education, that's true for housing, that's true for technology, that's true for any sector, any policy that you want to focus on. We believe the best strategy is one that centers equity. So, take a look at Slow Road Chicago's Bicycle Equity Statement of Principle. Think about it in the terms of these broader themes applying across the board to other policy areas, other sectors, other geographies. And let's talk about real equity at an operational level, not tokenism, not lip service, not confusion, not equity as equality. Let's talk about it for what it really is. And remember, equity plus power is greater than. Equity requires a power source. That power source is in our streets, our homes, our neighborhoods. We're not asking for equity. We're demanding, no, I'm sorry. We're not asking for equality. We're demanding equity. Peace, y'all.